everybody, so we are back with another video to share with you our March TBRs. So we've each picked out a few books we want to get through this month, so let's just get into it.
So in February I kind of had a really bad reading month and I was like so unenthusiastic about reading, unfortunately. But then I think I figured out why. It's because I haven't been reading any nonfiction, and that's what gets me fired up about reading. So for March, I have some nonfiction books that I want to read. And the first book that I'm going to start the month off with is called The Stonewall Reader. And this is a collection of like excerpts and just passages from different books and essays, and I think even like news articles about the Stonewall riots that happened in, I believe, the 60s or the 70s. But I know nothing about the Stonewall riots except it, like I know like what, like it was a, like a, it started, it was a pivotal moment in LGBTQ kind of like civil rights history. And that's all I know about it. And so I saw this and I was like, I want to read this. And I like that it's like little short like snippets of different authors and writers and thinkers. And yeah, I read the first two excerpts and I really liked it and I've been learning a lot. So that's my first read.
The first book I want to get to in the month of March is Darius the Great is Not Okay by Adib Khorram. This is about a boy named Darius who is half Persian, and he for the first time in his life is going to be staying and living in Iran. The other thing about Darius is he is clinically depressed and really having a hard time fitting in no matter where he is. And beyond that, I don't know too much about the story other than the fact I believe he meets another boy that might have a deep impact on his life. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. It's been sitting on my TBR staring at me for a while, so I'm excited to finally be able to pick it up.
My second book for the month is also another nonfiction book, and it is called The Reef. It's a passionate history. So I am a sucker for books that are just about like one thing. Like, for example, one of my favorite nonfiction books is called Oak, and it's just about oak trees. I loved a book, I read a book recently called Salt, and it's just like a history of salt. So I'm a sucker for like books when it's just like has that like one kind of like weird thing that it's about. And yeah, it's a book all about coral reefs and how it's changed over the years. I've always been interested in knowing like what's happening with our coral reefs around the world, and I like reading books about climate change. So yeah, I thought this would be interesting. I'm going on vacation in a few weeks where there are lots of coral reefs, so I thought this would be a good book to bring with me and to learn what's going on in our oceans.
Next up, I have a book that's a little bit out of left field, and that is Nemesis by Isaac Asimov. I've never read any Isaac Asimov save for the one book I read during the month of February, but I really enjoyed it. This is a book I had never heard of, but again, found it at the thrift store, so I decided to pick it up. This book is set in the 23rd century in a society in which people have escaped from Earth's overcrowding and created their own utopia called Rotar. So it's broken away from the solar system, and Rotar orbits around a distant star named Nemesis. And then a 15-year-old girl from Rotar discovers that Nemesis might be a danger to both Earth and the people of Rotar, and that's all I know about it. Last year I got really into reading more science fiction, and I want to continue that trend this year and read a lot more space operas, and this just sounds like a really fascinating read, and I'm excited to dive in.
Finally, my final book for the month is a fun graphic novel to switch it up from all the heavy nonfiction that I'll be reading, and it is called The Witch Boy. I don't know too much about this book except that it looks very pretty inside, and I've been seeing it on Instagram and I've been wanting to check it out because graphic novels, I love graphic novels. So I'm interested in checking this out. I don't know too much about it other than the fact that in this world, apparently boys become shapeshifters and girls become witches, but this boy wants to be a witch, maybe? Yeah, so excited to dive into it.
Next up is somewhat of a graphic novel classic, and that is Persepolis, A Story of Childhood, which is the author's graphic memoir. It is set during her childhood growing up in Iran during the Islamic Revolution, and I believe it just follows experiencing this time from a child's point of view. Again, another book that I've heard nothing but good things about for years now, and I finally have a copy in my hands and I cannot wait to give it a go. So those are a few books that we are hoping, fingers crossed, to get to in the month of March. Let us know what your plans are in the description down below. Hint, OwlCrateathon readathon will be happening soon, so watch out for that announcement when you're planning your TBRs. It's very exciting. But yeah, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more. Happy reading and thanks for being awesome. Bye!